So, Module 6, what we're going to do is look at more details about morality over the lifespan. And Module 6 is going to go ahead and focus on infants. So, what do we know about infants? Well, just like we saw with Piaget, infants are generally considered amoral, or basically lacking any sort of sense of morality. And you begin to see, as we've discussed before, that empathy and pro-social behavior starts early. As early as 13 to 15 months, toddlers begin displaying behaviors like helping, cooperation, and altruistic rather than selfish kind of motivations. Now, to go on and become more moral, they have to have two lessons that they learn. First, they need to understand there's such a thing as moral emotions. This is where you experience those negative emotions when you violate rules, and then you learn to empathize with others in distress. So there's moral rules. And you have to also learn some self-control by controlling the impulses when tempted to violate internalized rules. We talked a little bit about that with marshmallow experiment. So the moral emotions is when you violate the rules, you need to experience a negative emotion. Many times parents will be the ones to kind of give that through a form of punishment, that negative feeling. Could be even a disapproving look. But what it does in between 18 to 24 months, they begin to internalize the rules, and they even begin to anticipate disapproval when they fail to comply with them. Now, they're also able to a limited degree to exert kind of self-control it takes to resist temptations to engage in some sort of forbidden behavior. Oh, they're not perfect by any means, but that internalization of the rules is going to be key when you're talking about being able to do morality, because remember, you can't just be all external focused. That's the very base level, stage one in Kohlberg's theory of morality. So one of the ways that parents can encourage these lessons to be learned is through first having that secure attachment. Once again, it comes up and it is so important. They also can express a lot of positive emotions and discuss their children's behavior in a very open way by trying to, of course, reinforce when they're doing good, more so than when they violate those rules. And so what we look at and we look for parents is a mutually responsive orientation. And by that, you see that with a secure attachment, because it's a close, emotionally positive and cooperative relationship in which both are attached to each other and sensitive to each other's needs. So that means the infant and toddler are motivated to live up to the expectations of the parent. Now, temperament can also interact with parents' approach to influence the outcomes. So it helps to have goodness of fit, as we've talked about before. But empathy is pretty primitive, and I've mentioned this before. We see signs of it, but it's pretty primitive, and it is more developed by one or two, but it's not in full kind of fruition. So that's where we are in infancy. As we take off next into childhood, we're going to see quite a few changes, and we're going to see that in Module 7. So stay tuned.